Welcome everyone. Today we have a special last epoch guide. And in this video, we'll have a look at some of the top reasons to pick the Circle of Fortune for one of your fractions. And it is quite important for us to go through this, and for me personally myself, I did ask some of my friends and also took a while to look at some of those reasons. In this video, we'll also go through the latest and also the most important update for the upcoming Last Epoch 1.0, in case you guys are not sure of. So I'll try to break this video down into two parts. The first part, I'll basically explain everything you need to know about item fractions, and the second part, the reason why you want to pick Circle of Fortune. In the future, I'll be making another video about why would you want to pick the merchant guide and what is the reason behind this. So I try to keep those two separated for those players who are more leaning towards one side or another side. Now, I'm sure you guys might have seen the item trade and also item fraction video from the developers from Last Epoch. If you haven't, it is a really short and also informative video which explains things in a rough idea. So just recap what is going to happen with Last Epoch in patch 1.0. So once we get to the merchant city, and it is the city over here. Oh, actually, I got disconnected while drafting. So it is the merchant city in Majak. So this is the city once you pretty much complete the final act. And there will be two factions that is available for the players to pick from. The merchant guide, which allows players to trade through the auction house style of trading, and also the Circle of Fortune. Now, those two factions represent two unique gameplay styles. Some players like to trade with economy and also get richer and get tons of items and not having to spend all the time farming for those items. Other players will enjoy solo playing or getting various item drop rate and just having a good time spending more time playing the game. So those are very different. Now, for both of those factions, killing enemies and also earning reputations doing quests are quite important. For different factions, you'll be doing different quests. For the Merchant Guild, you'll be trading to complete your quest, while for the Circle of Fortune, you'll be completing prophecies, which is something we're going to go deeper into this video. So here we're going to go into the things that's going to be relating to the Circle of Fortune. Now again, for both factions, you can have additional faction gamblers, which allows us to spend favors, which will earn from killing enemies and completing quests. This will allow us to gamble for items or upgrading some of the regional rewards to have an increased item drop rate boost for each of the factions and also for different regions. Now, the developers have mentioned some of the items that can be traded, or some of those items may be gated or locked behind a rank to certain factions. And what that means is, if you're playing with your friends or if you're trading items, you might see a rank that is locked. Unless you meet those faction rank requirement, you cannot equip and use those rare or even unique legendary items, which is quite important to know as you guys plan to trade. Now, coming deeper into the Circle of Fortune. For the Circle of Fortune, you will be trying to complete prophecies. Prophecies are something that you can reroll, and those are quests you want to complete by doing events and also by doing challenges. By completing those, notice that this screenshot shows that you'll be rewarded with unique rare armor. And here, this is a screenshot coming from the YouTube video of the developers, which shows that by completing those prophecies, you can be target farming idols, rare items, exalted items, and also unique items by completing those prophecies. Prophecies in the Circle of Fortune can be rerolled. Let's say if you don't want to find unique armors, maybe you can be getting unique two-handed weapon or maybe unique relics. So this can be a little more personalized into target farming, which we'll discuss very shortly. Now finally, player trading is enabled among friends. If you drop an item while your friends in the party, you can trade with them directly. And while playing with your friends, you can be dropping items called the resonance. By collecting those resonance, even if your friends haven't been playing with you, just you're solo playing and you drop an item, you can still trade those items with your friends. And this is extremely good. But the key takeaway from this is, resonance requires you to have the same faction with your friends. If one of you is in the Merchant Guild, the other one is in the Circle of Fortune, then the rank lock or the rank gate requirement. So if we come back to this particular post over here, you can see the rank gate requirement. Even though you can trade those items, you'll still have to complete up to rank 5 of your friend's faction to use the item they give to you, which can be a little troublesome with a friend trading system. Now over here, I have included some of the notes and also everything related to this particular research of the fractions. One thing to take away before we go to the second part is that while trading for items, so one thing you want to know is, with the Circle of Fortune items, once you get those boosted item drop rate, they cannot be traded. So the additional drop rate of items that you get from Circle of Fortune cannot be traded in the Merchant Guild. And similarly, if you're planning to go with Merchant Guild trading items, you cannot trade and also resell items. So you can only purchase those items, but it is not resellable again, I believe. And those are two big highlights for us to focus on if you're planning to go into those fractions. Now coming over to the second part. Over here, we'll look at the top 10 ranks of Circle of Fortune and what you get from those. We can briefly have a look at the top 10 ranks from Merchant Guild and to see what we're missing because we're picking the other side. For the Merchants Guild, you can start to trade a lot of variety of items. And by rank 6, you can be trading unique weapons with legendary potential, which can be crafted into endgame items. And by rank 10, you can pretty much trade everything, including legendary items crafted from uniques. But our bigger focus is Circle of Fortune. Starting with rank 1, you start to have a chance of dropping 35% chance of dropping 2 items, or twice as many items, not 2 items. And you have a chance of preserving your Rune of Ascension, which allows you to craft more unique items and target unique items and even have a chance of higher legendary potential. This boosted to idle drop rate, exalted affects drop rate, Monos reward, legendary potential chance, tier 7 affects chance, and there's just a great tons of boost. So I will have this particular note available for you guys to have a look and to compare, and the links will be available. Now my bigger reason is, and also my top 5 reason to pick Circle of Fortune. One of the first reason is that your rank 1 to 10 rewards from Circle of Fortune are direct item drop rate buffs. What that means is, as you play the game, you'll get tons of more loots compared to the player that is playing in the Merchant Guild, who has to trade. The 2 times legendary potential rate, the affixes tier 7 rate, the exalted item rate, and everything is related to those ranks are incredibly good. And no matter what class, what mastery you're building, you can enjoy those to a great deal. Now in comparison, the rank 1 to rank 10 for Merchant Guild seems to be a very lackluster, or it seems to be very delayed reward. You have to trade those items to benefit from this reward, and you still require gold to buy those items. And it is likely not going to trade all the time because you'll be limited with time, you'll be limited with resources like gold. So my second reason to go with Circle of Fortune is that there's no trading time required for you to benefit from Circle of Fortune. Because if you're playing in auction house, if you're playing everything that's related to player economy, you notice that some items are just better deals. Some items are cheaper, some items are better. But you have to camp the auction house. You have to spend the time to look and also filter items. You have to try to find the best installed item for your resource, for your gold and time. And before you know it, you're wasting some time trading items and not actually playing the game. And this can be a little harder for players, but myself personally, I like to trade as well. So in our future videos, we'll look at reasons why you want to be trading in the game, which can have a great potential to be constantly making lots of money and later making way more items compared to solo farming. Now on the topic of spending time to trade, the second thing or the third thing you want to notice is the diminishing reward from spending time in auction house. Let's say if you spend 3 hours in the auction house, you're not going to get much better with your loot or items because there's only limited amount of item that is being sold. But if you spend 3 hours playing the game with higher or increased gameplay time, the longer you spend playing the game, the more rewarding it is for you to have the Circle of Fortune buff rate. So if you're a player that plans to play a few hours a day or spend a lot of time at the start of the season or the cycle, it is much preferable for you to go into the trade. It is much preferable for you to go to the Circle of Fortune because those boosted rates become even more better and beneficial the longer you play. It is not the same with trading because, you're trading with your gold, you have to spend time, and the longer you play, it seems like you're wasting the potential because you're not getting those bonus rate. It feels like you're handicapped. So this is one of the biggest reasons for me as well, because I plan to play a lot of hours in the first week or two to get the most out of the game at the first of the season. Now we mentioned earlier in the first part, to trade with your friends, you have to be in the same faction, or at least match the rank requirement when you're presented with an item that is traded from friends. So, if you're planning to play with your friends or any people you meet in the game, later on you might meet some people you just like to play with them, and then you want to ask, what are those players planning to have? And the majority of my friends all say they will be picking Circle of Fortune. And this makes more sense for me to also pick Circle of Fortune, which enables us to trade unique items, exalted items, or even legendaries more freely. And once we get a friend resonance item with each friend, once we trade those items, they're not gated behind rank of another faction. So it'd be terrible if we get an item and we can trade with each other, and all of a sudden you realize you need rank 5 into the Merchant Guild while you're playing Circle of Fortune. So it is quite important for you to communicate with your friends and to decide which one you want to go with. And if you guys do want to play even longer with the game, I still recommend the Circle of Fortune. Now finally, one of the biggest reasons I want to go into Circle of Fortune is to target farming unique items, idols, or exalted item parts. So we mentioned earlier, there will be prophecy quests which can be rerolled into enhanced target farming. So those quests will give you a particular item, just like the Echo reward. They will give you a particular item like unique chairs, unique rings, or maybe idols, or maybe a particular helmet. And at rank 10 of the Circle of Fortune, you can get 2 times reward from those prophecies. And because of this, you have 2 times target farming efficiency. So if you're looking for a unique helmet, if you're looking for a unique amulet, or anything that is related, or if you're trying to farm a tier 7 FX for your special build to craft into your legendaries, or if you're going for one of those ultra rare unique items in the game, or even finding higher item, legendary potential, this can be a great way for you to get more out of the end game. Because you can be target farming echoes, on top of that, target farming prophecies to get more items with Circle of Fortune. And this only comes once you get this one close to rank 10. So this is why I want to get Circle of Fortune to as high rank as I can. And of course guys, once I get this to rank 10, I can slowly work towards my Merchant Guild. And maybe getting this one to rank 6 to trade unique weapons, or maybe to rank 8 to trade unique items with legendary potentials. So my first goal is to start with Circle of Fortune, and those are the reasons behind it. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this evaluation, and please share your thoughts about picking the factions and how you want to plan and also proceed with your factions.